Welcome back to Wave 3 Listens. I've been looking forward to this segment every Thursday for about the last month or so. Dr. Eli Karam has been with us. He is a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I want to make mention, go to the website here, KAMFT, correct.org.
Yeah, that's the Kentucky Association for Marriage and Family Therapy. So we are here all year long to give the viewer a lot of good tips and information like we're doing, and hopefully today we'll get some calls.
You know, last week we were able to talk about how to fight fair, and I thought it was very informative because a lot of people have trouble fighting fair. This week we had a viewer email, so I'm going to put you to work instantly. If you have a question for Dr. Karam about your relationship with your husband, your wife, maybe a family member, it can be alcoholism, it can be a number of issues. Anything that is really stressing out your relationship, give us a call. And if there's one thing I've learned, it's not about the individual, it's about the relationships that surround them, right?
You're right, man. That's systemic outlook, which all MFTs look at people through their whole interpersonal context.
All right, once again, we'll hit that viewer email. Here we go. I have been struggling with relationship issues for some time now. I'm a very private and independent person. I've never sought out help from an outside professional before. My parents always taught me to rely on family and keep it within the family. However, after the birth of my first child 3 months ago, my family is the problem. How do I find the right fit in a therapist? Should I come alone, bring my husband, or even try to include my parents? Please help. I think we've all had a little bit of this in our lives.
Sure.
Wanda in Louisville, because you know what? One thing I think you've made also very clear, it's normal. Everyone has junk.
Exactly.
I mean, you know, everyone has issues.
All right. So Wanda, thank you for sending that in. And anybody can send in an email to kamft@insightbb.com, and those are the emails we'll use on the show every Thursday. But your question is, you know, this idea of what is therapy, and if you've never gone, sometimes people have a negative connotation, John. They think that you have to have a problem or you need to have some mental illness. And most marriage and family therapists, MFTs, they work with the working well, people that just get stuck somewhere along the way. So your question, you're at a predictable stuck point. Most people, after the birth of a child, we know all the research says marital satisfaction, sexual satisfaction, even the best relationships, John, goes down. So a marriage and family therapist is going to help you for these stuck points on the family life cycle that everybody goes through, Wanda. And marriage and family therapists are going to look at you through strength and health. So they're not going to pathologize you or look for deficit. So the best thing to do would be to go to www.therapistlocator.net. That is our national website. So this is whether you're in Louisville, any part of Kentucky, or anywhere in the country, you're going to put your zip code in there, John. You're going to be able to find licensed marriage and family therapists, which we represent at KMFT, and they will be able to help you. So you are going to then make the call, look for fit, and your question was, who do I bring? Or how do I find the right fit? Well, you should be able to ask that person, that marriage and family therapist on the call, anything you want about them. And they're going to ask you about why you want to come, and they're going to ask you about all the important people in your life. And out of that dialogue, a 5 to 10 minute conversation on the phone, you're going to decide if that person is a good fit for you, and if they are, they're going to work with you to decide who you should bring. And in this case, your email seems like it would mean your family and probably your husband to talk about some of these transitions after the birth of your child.
And marriage and family therapists have been proven to be very effective in handling a lot of different issues. I mentioned, you know, alcoholism, depression, obesity, whatever the case may be in your family, whatever issue you're dealing with, these guys really know what they're talking about and how to handle it and how to make your life better. Okay, we have a call real quickly. I'm going to put you to work if you're ready.
I'm ready.
All right, Dr. Karam, we have Billy who is calling from right here in Louisville. Billy, you have the expertise of Dr. Eli Karam. Go ahead. Hello, Billy.
Hi, Dr. Eli.
How you doing, Billy?
Yes, I had a quick question. I have a spouse, and she's in the other room, so she can't really hear me. She's not very good with money at all, and I don't know really what to do about that. Like how to deal with that without it dealing with an explosive argument.
Yeah. What you should know, John and Billy, that money, more than sex, more than household labor, more than in-laws, is the #1 thing couples fight about. So you're not alone. General rules of thumb. Different people have different values and priorities around money. So you have to have a good talk around expectations. It's also sometimes problematic if one person enters the relationship with a lot more than the other person, and then you try to combine things in one pot. So what we call financial transparency. Best thing to do is in healthy relationships where you can have an ongoing dialogue around the money, Billy. It's not a one-time conversation. You should be able to go on the computer, with a few clicks of the mouse, you should be able to see everything that your partner has, everything as far as what's going out, what's coming in, and from that, you should be able to kind of set a budget or a limit. And if your partner can't talk to you about their expenditures, probably not a good sign. So marriage and family therapists, even though they don't have financial backgrounds, can help you facilitate a dialogue around money, about how to talk about it, and use some of those skills we've been talking about last month on the show with if things get too heated, how to take a time out, how to use those listening skills to really restart the dialogue. But certainly, I think it would be a good idea if you can't have that conversation with your wife by yourself to have a third party, a marriage and family therapist, help you broker that.
Very good. Dr. Karam, I would think that the way people think about money is really probably learned from your parents.
Yeah.
With that being said, how successful are you in getting people to change their thought process? This is something that has been embedded in them since they were kids. Are you successful at maybe meeting in the middle with couples?
Right. Well, that's a key word I said. Expectations is very important. So, and what forms our expectations? You're exactly right. We only know really two relationships, that of the one we're in and that of our family of origin, our parents. So if we had really different priorities around money, like we had credit card debt, we were spenders, and we marry someone who's a saver, who has a very low debt tolerance, and we're willing to go way into debt. That's a big mix. So yeah, it's meeting in the middle. It's dialoguing around it, and finding a new way to talk about money. But like I said, it's an ongoing conversation. Sure. It's not a one-time thing in your marriage.
All right. Thank you for the call, Billy. Appreciate it very much. Let's throw up a few facts about marriage and family therapists, or about marriage and families specifically. If you would, Doctor, do a little play-by-play.
Oh, sure. So when we think of family systems, marriage and family therapy, it's not treating the person in isolation, John, as we've said. It is treating them in all of their holistic systemic context. What's going on at home? What's going on at school? And many times you need to bring those people into the room. So family therapists, even though they see lots of individuals, they also expand the system and bring in spouses, family members, even parents. Some of my favorite work is bringing in adult children and their parents. We'll talk about that and as the weeks come on the show. But yeah, you want to go to Therapist Locator, and you also want to go to www.kamft.org, John, and that is going to tell you everything we're doing in the state. We just had a really successful conference, got a lot of nice feedback to these segments on the show, and throughout this year, not only are we going to keep giving you tips, we're going to bring in some members from the Kentucky Association of Marriage and Family Therapists around some special topics. So we hope to do a lot of good things on Wave 3.
Dr. Karam, you are a lot of great information in very little bit of time. I appreciate that. Again, I want to remind you, kamft.org, or if you're looking for a therapist, therapistlocator.net. There we have it up on the screen. Is. Thank you very much, Doctor. Do I see you next week?
You see me next week, my friend.
I'm looking forward to it. Dr.
Right.
Eli Karam, a licensed marriage and family therapist. Really great information. All righty, we'll be right back. Coming up, the experts from Floyd Memorial Hospital. We're going to talk about diabetes. If your family, loved one has diabetes, lots of good information. And as you know, knowledge is power. We'll be right back.